All right. So ever since I turned 30, I've been trying my hardest, and I'm not trying to kick niggas to the curb on this one. All right. I'm not just trying to kick niggas to the curb on this one. All right. But I've been trying to, I've been trying to get into the mind of foot niggas. All right, like foot, foot niggas. It's not foot, not foot fetishes. Because a fetish is a fetish. I ain't got no fetishes. All right, I'm celibate, so I ain't got no fetishes. I've just been trying to get into the mind of foot niggas though, because it's like here's the thing, it's too common of a, because there's plenty of things that I enjoy about women, but I've never focused, I've never zoned in on the feet, you know, and it's not, not just for nothing, it's just like it's something that you don't think about often, right? But like just from like I understand, no, I can interpret it, but I cannot understand it as a direct focus because you just got them niggas that's like, oh, she got pretty feet. Oh, them some sexy ass feet. It's just like, and again, I'm trying to grasp it. Okay, that's all it is. It's just because when you typically think about a foot, it's not from. I don't think it's a sexual thing. Even with them, I don't think it's a sexual thing. I don't think it's a sexual nor a directly physical thing. It's not. It's not. It's a spiritual thing because it's kind of like, you know, being my age. Actually, I'll even say it like this. I never really thought about the fact that like people there are a lot of luxuries. There are a lot of luxuries that we as Americans have, right? One of those things is the ability to just go down the fucking street and there's a massage place, right? So niggas go get their whole body massage, right? And like all the barbecue body massage places closed down to me. So you can't get a barbecue with your body massage these days no more. But like pedicures and manicures and waxes, bro. Like I remember one time I was super duper geeked, and I was like, I should get completely waxed. Like literally, I like the image of myself just 100% hairless was just like immaculate. I didn't do that because you know I wouldn't do that. If I was super duper uber geeked, I may have gone ahead and done it. Just point blank. It felt in my head it was like to be bald everywhere is to be close to God. That's what the my mindset was at the time. But yeah, but like it's a spiritual thing with the feet, because it's like okay, like I can't say I didn't took care of my feet though my whole life. I've been working in warehouses since like 25, 24, 24, 25, right? So like you know it doesn't negate the fact that I could take extra care, precaution, and commitment to my feet. Well, not just my feet, but just overall, my physical health overall, right? Aesthetically, and just like environmentally. But like like motherfuckers out here getting pedicures, it's like this. If I was just to be more obsessive, dedicated to just my overall, just like physical composure, maybe. Maybe physical composure. I don't know how else to put it. Like yeah, everybody washes their hair, brushes their teeth, and puts on deodorant. For the most part, most people do those at minimum, right? At minimum, like those are very average things, right? But like the above average, but like it's like wouldn't it be pretty exceptional to say like, yeah, I take absolutely no. If you heard somebody take like, if you heard somebody say like, oh, I absolutely take pride in the the health and perception of my feet, which I don't think foot niggas really think of it that way, but that's the thing. But it maybe they do, right? Maybe they do because it's like it's not just the feet, you know. Well, it is, cause like like hands, right? Like like as a detail, right? I got really perceptive about like people that whose nails are super long and dirty when they shouldn't be super dirty. They can be long, but like they shouldn't be long and dirty. Like not all the time, right? Some people, but that's one of those things that you see all the time, right? Like, but you can perceive that immediately. Like very often, you can watch somebody, and people aren't always too cognizant if you're watching something like their hands, right? Like most people expect you to be looking at their eye. They may or may not be considering like the inflections of their voice, how active they are physically. They might be trying to sit more still than usual, or it's just that people are aware of that, right? But not everybody is. I've been surprised, right? Like someone seems like they're pretty well put together overall, right? But in the environment that we're in, where we are like just simply existing, but like in this particular environment, you should have known that your hands should be clean right now, right? Like it's not like you just came out of working with the dirt. So you didn't just come out of working with the dirt. We're both here. I've washed my hands and have not been, been digging into much of nothing since then. So, like if I look at my hand right now, I just got off of work. My hands, they're dirty. I just worked at. I mean, like I washed my hands right after, but like they could use a little bit more detail, right? I could have detailed them a little bit more. They're not gruesome, like. But if I knew somebody was finna look at my hands, I'd be like, yeah, let me go ahead and get a little what going on, and but like, but like but like foot, but with the feet though, right? You can't see most people's feet. I think that's the thing. It's like one of the few things that people actually hide. Not hide. Not hide. Um, it's not hiding. People don't hide their feet. Like people, they put their foot in a sock and their foot into a shoe. Then like that's kind of it until they get home and unravel. But yeah, it's one of the few body parts that's actually concealed. Besides like the private parts. But like you're more likely to see some titty than some foot. I think that's what it is. And even with some titty, you don't gotta put no work in for a titty to look good. You gotta put work in for feet to look good. Especially, you know what it is. There were a couple of instances on social media, right? So I mean on social media, like everybody the fuck else. But like, like I'll say clearly, clearly the focus. And you could tell that there was some obvious subliminal focus on the foot, or if a chick's foot or feet or whatever, right? They're like clearly the presentation is meant for you as an observer to notice that is subliminally the point, right? But it's like, every now and again, right? I have been like, and you see in the comments, like, oh, you got pretty feet, older this and that. And it's like, like, I think it's really more noticeable with like when the chick wears like, was it anklets? Like jewelry around their feet. Like, not on their feet. I don't know. I guess most people don't do that. But like it is something that accents it, right? Like anklets or toe rings, but like also having uniform, like uniform nail, like the whole pinky toe is that. I mean, the whole pinky toenails. Like, bro, I don't even think I have. My pinky toenails have been dissolving fucking exponentially over the past. You know, like I said, I work at warehouse. We're working at warehouse for the past 5 years, man. Like, I guess that just, you know, when you work at warehouses, pinky toenails kind of negate themselves out of existence or something, right? But I don't know. I'm trying to get into their minds because I'm like, I just need, you know, I'm trying to be more broad spiritually, right? Like I'm trying to broaden myself spiritually. You know, that's all it is. You know, like, and it's not just on a visual or physical perspective. Like I know it ain't just the feet. All right, like feet niggas gotta have like, you know, like that like that part of their brain just lighting up red, like boom boom boom. You know, it gotta be thumping. Like, you know, somebody, you know, like I said, feet fetishes a little different. You know, I I don't know if I'll be able to get that tapped in, but you know, I gotta figure it out, man. And they'll never be able to just explain it to you. You know, like nobody can just fucking explain it. You know, you have to experience it for yourself. So you know, one day maybe it'll click, right? I'll see the finest big toe on a chick I done ever seen in my that day in life, and that'll click, man. But right now, it's not. It hasn't clicked. Okay. Some people take really good care. Some women take really good care of their feet, and I think people take note of that. But like you can't always. You know, again, most of the time they're concealed. So you know, maybe it's a secret that I will. Maybe that is Victoria's secret. Okay. Maybe I'll figure her secret out, and it's her feet.